So next is from Edward R. And there's no subject. Hey, K100 Click. I'm a day one listener. I got to say the show keeps getting better. Your recent guests have been awesome. K100 Sports is great. Talks is great. And you're doing a better job at Disco's interruptions, keeping Disco's interruptions to a minimum. Quick question. This past Royal Rumble crushed every metric for the show ever. Viewership, gate, attendance. Meanwhile, AEW is consistently in its viewership within about 200,000 viewer range. New Japan is back to form. Triple H had an outstanding year with the Triple Mania shows, and companies like MLW, Defy, and others are back and making good money. Wrestlers have never been paid more, and TV rights fees continue to rise. While ratings are not its highest, would you agree that at no time there's been more money being made in wrestling than right now? P.S. Bronson Reed is just El Nino Hamburguesa with a beard. Regards, and that's from Edward R. from Seattle. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think there is more money being made than ever before. Yeah.
When I heard that FTR turned down $750 a year to come to AEW,
right?
That's when I realized, like, holy God, these guys are making a lot of money these days. And that's, I don't know what that would be like. Like what that money would be like. Would they have been like $225,000 a year, guys, back in on our roster? Because like
probably,
because if you scale, Hogan and those guys are making $4 million, $5 million. Some guys are making way more than others, but like the rest of us are between like $150 and $750.
Right.
But So, but it's
because you always read that back in the early '90s before Hogan got there, Sting was making $750, and that was like the holy grail at that time in WCW. You wanted to get Sting money, they would say, or whatever.
Right. Next is from Brian Dunlap. Oh, here's our boy, our booker.
Who?
Brian Dunlap. He always has booking ideas.
Right.
Remember we talked about the guys like the Big Mark and the YouTube page and everything. So, subject is Karrion Kross versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 39. Hello, Conan and Disco. What do you think of the possibility of Karrion Kross versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 39? If Undertaker could go back to work with either man, I'd say that would be a bigger match, but one last match for Undertaker is just wild speculation, while Kross versus Wyatt is a more realistic option. I feel it's only a matter of time before Karrion and Bray cross paths. Both are dark characters that have never had that big one-on-one showdown with each other, but is WrestleMania the right time? Disco is Kross's trainer, so who do you think would be your student's best opponent at WrestleMania? I'd be curious to hear Conan's take as well as Joe's, Billy's, and anyone else in the K100 family, including those in the comments section. I like that angle, Kross versus Bray, because they both do the same thing well. They cut short little vignettes and promos, and they do that well. They're good talkers in their characters, even though Bray is kind of like all over the place. But I'd like that angle. I think they can cut good promos on each other. What do you think?
I'm just afraid that the match won't be good. I didn't like the Royal Rumble match between Knight and Bray Wyatt, and he'd been a lot of matches that weren't good, including the one with Randy Orton.
Right.
That's my problem. I don't think the in-ring would be good. If he was like the leader of some good workers, that would be a lot better,
Right.
And I'm just not into him right now,
Right.
And the Rumble didn't know. And I would rather put Bray Wyatt against the Undertaker.
Right.
Yeah.
Next is from our boy Jed Frankfurter. Subject is NBA then and now. Hey K100, long time no email. Heard both of you discussing the old NBA versus the current NBA. Heard a clip of Isaiah Thomas on a podcast explaining why the league went from physical to less physical. He blamed Jordan and the way he was being marketed and wanted him to be able to dunk. I was curious on your thoughts. I was a Giants Pistons fan back then and hated those Lakers, Celtics, and Bulls teams of the same era. Obviously, the age I've come to appreciate all the teams and the talent they possess, and the clip is attached below. How long is the clip, Joe?
2:35.
Go ahead and play it. Oh, by the way, it says P.S. Mike Holder told me he hated Larry Bird. All right. Yeah, it's just figured. It's white, so Holder hates white people.
Here goes the clip.
Go ahead. Play it.
To piggyback off RC's question, because it didn't seem like he was upset being called. Well, I've been calling.
Well, I was upset. I was highly upset.
Why?
Let me say
Is that it's not
the Last Dance documentary? We obviously know everything that was said about Isaiah.
Who's talking here?
And that was one of the quotes.
Where's the clip, Joe?
Oh, you can't see it? Oh,
No.
Hang on. There you go.
Here we go.
It was quoted, and then he quote tweeted it and said, "Read the quote in its entirety. Don't cut it up. I meant what I said."
Yeah.
Now here's why I was upset of watching
a documentary of a guy being a to everybody, but then call me and I ain't been nothing but nice to this dude. Now, this real talk. Go back and document it. You can go back on the west side of Chicago. I ain't talking about Michigan Avenue where they used to kick me off for shining shoes. I couldn't shine shoes on Michigan Avenue. I couldn't shine shoes on Rush Street. They kicked me out of there. On the west side of Chicago, that's where I'm from. Okay? Now, on the west side of Chicago, when Michael Jordan got to Chicago, I made it real easy for him to walk those streets on the west side of Chicago. My family took care of him. My sister and his brother hung out as friends. My little nephew lived with Michael Jordan. I'm gonna say this again. My little nephew lived with Michael Jordan. Now, I'm being extremely good to this dude. I'm calling his house during this period of time. So all this, Isaiah was like, no, dude, I was looking out for you. Now, when we played, right, you ain't seen me hit Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, you ain't seen me hit nobody. Lambeer and Mahorn would hit somebody, and what they would do? They would come hit me or say Isaiah hit. I said, no. Fight. That's the dude who hit you. Fight him. Right. Oh, well, you told him to hit me. So then they want to fight me. Okay, well, I know how to fight. So I ain't backing down. We can do that.
What does that have to do with what this guy said in the letter?
No, he says that the NWA's or the
NBA.
The NBA was the league was basically he said the league went from physical to less physical because of the way they were treating Michael Jordan. Okay, and he played that clip.
Be able to dunk, but here he's just basically saying, okay, well, Michael Jordan says I'm a, but he's a.
Because what they're saying, because I think Jed Frankfurter. But let me tell you something about that clip. Isaiah Thomas sounds very good in that clip, right?
Right.
But bro, the thing with Isaiah Thomas is that he's I don't know if everybody, like our listeners probably don't remember this guy, but Bobby Clark of the Philadelphia Flyers is one of the best players in the league. Okay, right. But the guy was a dirty player. Okay, and he would egg his guys on to go to get that guy, take that guy. He was like the ringleader. Right. Okay, but you couldn't touch him because he was a smaller guy. But he knows exactly what he's doing. Right. He would egg Lambeer and Mahorn and those guys everything to go and hurt guys. And people say, go. You heard of the when those guys were railing on when Jordan and Pippen and stuff were talking about Isaiah Thomas in that documentary, the Dream Team documentary. Yeah. They said that's the reason they didn't like the guy because he was always you're going to get him back. You go get he would egg the guys on to when Jordan comes down the lane to clobber the guy. There's a famous
story where he was trying to get all the people in the All-Star game not to play with Jordan,
not to pass to him. Yeah,
right. Yep. Yeah, he was he's trying to come across as babyface there, but his history, bro. Anybody that used to watch the Pistons, they were a dirty team, right. And the reason they changed is because, bro, guys would go down the lane and they would just literally clobber you, right? Like stuff today that would get you 5-game suspension. Everything they would do it every single game, and it's then he would egg guys on to do that. And they just, if you're Michael Jordan and you're playing basketball and you're getting physically, assaulted. You're going to have resentment towards these guys.
Right, and you can, and like now when people go to the bucket, somebody's trying to block the ball, but before they'd actually clothesline you.
Right?
They take that out of here. Right.
We had to they literally went back and dissected all these things that the guys would do. So, okay, all right, well, there's so many flagrant 1 fouls that will just give the technicals, but a flagrant 2. All right, well, look at the real. Okay, you're out of the game. It's everything. Right. So it's cut back in there. But there were flagrant 1s and flagrant 2s that were just fouls, and you go to the line for 2 shots. Right. That's the way it used to be. So next is from Giant Farouk in the subject's age. I'm a huge fan of LA 9, despite the weirdness of the lights out match with Bray Wyatt. The guy clearly did everything that was required of him. Not a 5-star classic, but I honestly did like it overall. You guys spoke about the idea of WWE doing an LA Knight versus Stone Cold Austin, Steve Austin match at WrestleMania, which would be so good to hear those promos. There's even a lot of talk from Dirt Sheets that he's the likely winner of the Money in the Bank this year. The problem is, though, guys, is that he's 42 years old. He looks incredible, but at some point your body ages, and keeping the size and staying that cut is impossible. Do you think that LA Knight's age could maybe ruin his potential top guy run in the WWE? What you call it? Oh, this guy. First of all, the guy railing on Billy again, which I disagree with. Says, "P.S. Billy, that Mysterio interview you did was horrible. I'm so happy it tanked. You suck at everything." Thank you, brother. I thought that was good. By the way, I would actually tell people to go watch a Mysterio interview with the kid, because I think Austin is a very colorful addition to these to the YouTube clips. What would you think?
100%. That's why it's on there.
Right. So what do you guys say about LA Knight?
Yeah,
I don't think he didn't look 42 at all.
They're not gonna flash his age on the screen, and bro, he can get TRT, growth hormone, and always look, and be in good shape. He's a star, and I think he outshined Bray Wyatt in this feud.
Yeah.